Good guys. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job.
Thanks, thank you. Feel free to sing along.
services organizations, and I want to take a minute to thank those people. Thank you to the a.d.a. committee members, Arise, Heritage Farms, Liberty Resources, Madison County Motivators, Arc of Madison Cortland, Madison County Department of Health, and Bridges. Thanks for all your work on this event. I'd also like to take a minute to recognize and thank the support of New York State Assemblyman Bill McGee and also our Madison County Sheriff Todd Hood. Thanks very much. Today is not only a celebration, but a call to action as we further the power and reach of the Americans with Disabilities Act. We must remain vigilant in protecting the rights of people with disabilities. Arise is an independent living center, serving people of any age and any disability. We are governed by a board of directors that is majority people with disabilities, and many of our staff are people with disabilities. We embody the independent living philosophy and believe that people with disabilities are the best experts of their own needs. People with disabilities deserve equal opportunity to decide how to live, work, and take part in their communities. Inclusive communities benefit from the talents and contributions of all citizens. People with disabilities must not be pushed to the margins of our society or hidden away in institutional settings. People with disabilities are entitled to the same human and civil rights as people without disabilities. Disabilities, whether they are visible or invisible, a part of us since birth, or acquired at some other point in our lives, are not problems to be solved, but differences to be celebrated and embraced. A core part of the independent living philosophy is advocacy for individuals' access to the supports and services, and for changing systems that impose institutional barriers on individual freedoms. We never lose sight of the fact that disability rights are civil rights. A centerpiece of our civil rights success is the Americans with Disabilities Act. We celebrate this landmark legislation which prohibits discrimination in access, employment, voting, and other areas vital to our society. Thanks to the Supreme Court's Olmstead decision, we know that the a.d.a. requires people with disabilities to receive services in the most integrated setting possible, in their homes and in the community. We will continue to build on that progress of the a.d.a. and continue to celebrate the gifts and joys that all people, with or without disabilities, bring to our world. Now, my privilege to introduce Jack Campbell, the Executive Director of Arc of Madison Cortland, to say a few words.
Thank you, Tom. The a.d.a., when it was passed by George Herbert Bush in 1990, was landmark legislation. Let me step back a little bit further before that. In 1977, I first came into the field to work for the Arc of Madison Cortland. Back then it was the Madison County ARC. Family-based, family-led organization. Board of directors primarily made up of family members or a blood relative of an individual with a developmental disability. I had the opportunity and the challenge to be on the front line of deinstitutionalization at that point in time. We closed Rome Developmental Center, we closed Syracuse Developmental Center, and we moved people into the community. And today, we still have many, many challenges in front of us. One of those challenges is the advocacy and the direction that government is taking us in the future. I said last year, and I'm going to say again this year, that institutionalization doesn't have to be bricks and mortar. It doesn't have to be a building. If you don't have access to services, if you can't get out of your own home, if you can't participate in the community, that's an institution without walls. Today, We are where we are because of a particular group of individuals. Nothing about us without us. That's the Madison County Motivators. Are there motivators here today? If you are, stand up. The accomplishments that we've achieved in the past 2 years are a direct result of self-advocates. Tanya just said it best. People with disabilities know best the direction and the future and what their needs are. I have great respect for the Madison County Motivators. Next year, what I'd like to see is every single person stand up in this room when I ask, are there Madison County Motivators in here? Because as David will tell you, and Leo will tell you, the best advocate is not Jack Campbell, is not Tanya, is not an administrator. It's the person that needs the services and the supports in the community. So with that, thank you very much, and I want to say thank you very much to the Madison County Motivators. Without you, I couldn't do what I do. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. It can't be more true that the self-advocate is the most powerful advocate. You know, I'm a lawyer by training, and I used to think I was an advocate until I met my daughter, who happens to have a disability. You talk about a self-advocate. So that's the way to go. It's the only way to make progress in this world and to make sure that your needs are met the way you want them to be. Next, we are privileged to receive a proclamation by Oneida City Mayor Leo Matzke. Mayor Matzke worked as a teacher for 31 years before his retirement. He first became mayor in 2003 and is currently serving his 5th term of office. He has been a t-ball and soccer coach, and he is executive director of the Madison County Children's Camp Lookout. He resides here in Oneida with his wife, Cheryl. They have 3 children and 10 grandchildren, so they're not busy at all. It's now my pleasure to welcome Mayor Matzke.
You know, it's always good to be here because you just feel the camaraderie, the relationships that all of you have with one another, and how you encourage one another and depend on one another for reassurance and for love and taking care of some more than others. That's a good thing that we want to celebrate today, actually. I know that today we're celebrating the law itself, which was enacted in 1990. But the true celebration in my mind and in my heart as a mayor and as a believer in community is that it is each of you. I mean, Jack paid Senator Blaski and myself a great compliment, but it also goes back to him, the leader who's steering the boat and getting us all where we all need to be. Those of us who need to fall in line and follow. And when people come and say, hey, Leo, here's what we need as a city. As a city, what can we do to make that happen? You know, when I first took ill, it's been 1.5 years now, it doesn't seem possible. But I have learned so much, as you said, about your daughter, about disabilities. Thinking that I did, thinking, no, I have empathy. But you don't till you've lived there. You don't until you see people like yourselves who have the courage every day to get up, adjust and adapt, get over the obstacle that the day presents to you, however you need to do it, reach for the help you need, and get it done. We as a city need to help with that. And so with the proclamation, yes, we're celebrating the law, the a.d.a. law, but much more importantly, let us celebrate each other and what we do for one another and how we get out of bed every day and make it a good day. If I could have somebody, if just a representative could come up and stand for a few minutes while I read the proclamation. Madison, Cortland, ARC, arise, if somebody could come up. Heritage Farms, Liberty Resources. We want Bridges. Is somebody here from Bridges? Okay. In this proclamation, and we've done it, the legal part of it, but also in it, I've tried to stress the fact that what we need to celebrate are our strengths and how we overcome our weaknesses, and how we all have them, all of us. Whereas approximately 6.5 million people in the United States have developmental disabilities, and whereas in 1990 the Americans with Disability Act became a law that prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities in all areas of public life, and whose purpose is to make sure that people with disabilities have the same rights and opportunities as everyone else. And whereas people with developmental disabilities share with all our residents the desire to achieve personal success through education, meaningful work, and community ties. And whereas the City of Oneida is committed to recognize that every person, regardless of perceived ability, has valuable strengths and the capability to make important contributions to the community when given the opportunity to do so. And whereas family, friends, and members of the community can play a central role in enhancing the lives of people with disabilities, especially when they are provided with the necessary support services. And whereas the City of Oneida is hereby pleased to provide our appreciation to the organizations of Arise, the Madison, Cortland, ARC, Heritage Farm, Liberty Resources, Bridges, and the Madison County Health Department, and the County Motivators, for their steadfast support of those with developmental disabilities. Now, therefore, I, Leo Mansky, Mayor of the City of Oneida, do hereby proclaim July 2018 as Disability Awareness Month. Thank you. You just asked me if I want to say anything else. A politician, you know, they're always ready to talk. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce New York State Senator Dave Valesky, who was elected to represent the 53rd Senate District in 2004. I got more. They're just applauding because, but there's more. Dave is a native Central New Yorker, born and raised in Oneida. He has deep roots in our community and has dedicated his professional life to public service. Dave is a strong supporter of progressive values and legislation. He created Inclusive U at Syracuse University, a unique program that supports students of all ages with intellectual and developmental disabilities who want to experience college life in a fully inclusive setting. And I've got my daughter's sights set on going to that program, so thank you. Dave received his bachelor's degree from SUNY Potsdam and his master's degree from the University of Connecticut. He began his public service by working in the State Assembly as an aide to the former State Assembly Majority Leader Michael Bragman from 1989 to 1995. While in this position, he gained a thorough working knowledge of the legislative process and helped to develop state and local policies to make government more accessible to all New Yorkers. Dave worked at WCNY TV-FM from 1995 through 2004. While there, he served as Vice President of Communications and is the host of the midday talk show CNY, which focused on current state, national, and world events and issues that affected Central New York communities. It's my pleasure to welcome Senator Valesky.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing today?
Good.
All right. So I have a couple of things to share with you today. First of all is a little story. You ready for a little story?
Yeah.
So Mayor Matzke is an outstanding mayor of Oneida, isn't he?
Yeah.
He does a great job. He does a great job. I have known Mayor Matzke since I was about this high. Okay? About this high. Okay? So, and you heard when Tanya introduced Mayor Matzke, he's done a number of things in his life, in addition to serving as he currently does as the mayor of Oneida. And you might have heard her say that he was a t-ball and a soccer coach. Did you hear her say that?
Yeah.
Guess what else he was?
What?
In 7th grade, a long time ago for me, in 7th grade, I thought I was going to be able to be a baseball player. I love baseball. Any Yankees fans here? All right. Right, Perry, raise that hand in the back. There we go. Well, in 7th grade, guess who was my baseball coach? Mayor Matzke. How about that? So should we update Mayor Matzke's bio to say he was Senator Valesky's baseball coach? Should we do that? All right, that's great. Just a couple of points. I appreciate the fact that the mayor had a proclamation today and brought up the organizations that are represented here. I want to add something to that. So each of the organizations that are here today have incredibly hardworking staff members that provide extremely important services, right? To each and every one of you. You know them all better than I do. But I think it would be a pretty good thing if we showed the staff who are here, and by extension the staff who are not able to be here this morning, how much we appreciate what they do for you. Can we show them how much we appreciate it? All right, and the only other thing I want to do, and those of you who remember last year and maybe the year before will not be surprised that we're going to do this again. So we all know what a cheerleader is, right?
Yeah.
What's a Who can tell me what a cheerleader is? What's a cheerleader? Right, somebody who leads a cheer, right? All right. So I'm going to take on that job. I might be a senator, but for right now, I'm going to be a cheerleader. Is that okay? All right. And you know this drill, right? So we have it. First of all, I hope everybody wore sneakers or good walking shoes, right? Okay. So when we go outside in a little bit, we have to cheer. We're not going to just walk quietly, right? It's a nice day. We're excited to be here. We're excited about the 28th anniversary of the American with Disabilities Act, and we have to let everybody out there know how excited we are. So here is the cheer that we're going to practice right now. Okay? There you go. You already know it. a.d.a. is here to stay. a.d.a. is here to stay. a.d.a. is here to stay. All right. I like it. You're all warmed up. You're ready to go. Okay? All right. Thanks so much. We'll see you outside.
Thank you, Senator. We're not going to cheer yet, though, because we have a real treat next. Our guest speaker is Sherry Ann, a doctor of chiropractic, an inspirational singer who lives in Utica. Sherry was born with bilateral hearing and speech impairment. She excelled in school and earned a doctorate degree with honors from the New York Chiropractic College. Known as Doc to many, Sherry Ann founded Better Health Chiropractic in 1999 and is very involved in community events. She was a regular speaker for the Dream, Dare, Do school outreach program and served as an advisor for Utica College's Committee for Health Professions and is a member of the Mohawk Valley Community College's Distinguished Alumni Panel. She received the Accent on Excellence Award for Mohawk Valley Leaders Under 40, which was sponsored by the Utica Observer-Dispatch. Sherry Ann also travels across the country sharing her love of music, speaking, and writing. She has appeared on several national television networks and acted in 2 Christian films. Songs she wrote charted nationally and won a national songwriting contest. She was voted a top 10 favorite new gospel artist for 3 years in a row and has released 5 full-length CDs. Her most recent project includes a live DVD which features sign language and closed caption for the hearing impaired. There's also a rumor that she might share a song with us this morning. It's my pleasure to invite Sherry Ann to the podium.
Thank you so much for letting me be here today. I want to thank the distinguished panel, the mayor, the senators, the chairman, the CEOs, ARISE, and AOC, all of the programs that are here, our interpreters. Thank you for letting me be here to share with you. And I thought I would start my segment of this portion, this program, with a song. I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed day, and dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky. Also the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands. How do you do? They're always saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more we'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Sing it, I know you know it. The colors of the rainbow. Come on. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky. Also the faces of the people passing by. I see the men shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're always saying, I love you. I babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more we'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Ooh, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yeah! I think we have some fans of that song, huh? I can tell we're in for a good time.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll tell you, I want to share with you that as I sing that song with you today, I want you to know that my life is good. My life is very good. I'm a chiropractic doctor of nearly 20 years, a fitness trainer, a former model, an actress, a national recording artist, and an award-winning songwriter. But my life was not always wonderful. Before I delve into that, let me reiterate once again why we are here today. You've heard it multiple times, but I want to reiterate that we are here to celebrate a 28-year-old piece of legislation. Some of you weren't even born at the time that this legislation was passed. Once again, in 1990,